Evening, just in the speed shop, just looking at the Royal Enfield Meteor 350 that just arrived today. Bit of a secret, nobody knew I was getting it, but one of the things I do down here at the speed shop is Enfield tours. So I've got, for 2021, got the fleet of Enfield Interceptors and Continentals, so taking people out on those. And I guess what we felt for this year is just to mix it up a bit. So we swapped out 2 Interceptors and kind of replaced it for Meteor 350 and that Bullet Trials that I've got, so that people come down and they basically get to ride all the Enfields currently in the lineup, including the Classic 350 when that comes out in spring, plus the Bullet Trials 500. So this is a Meteor that's just come through. I've got to say, it's a handsome bike. We went for the yellow because it's quite distinctive, just that it's a base spec one. So about 3.7, I think they are, £3,700. It's probably not a bike that I'd be traditionally or typically associated with. It's not an adventure bike, but for North Devon and the back roads around here, I think it's going to be absolutely perfect. It's going to be similar power and performance to the Himalayan. I think, 20 brake horsepower, so not a lot of power, but should be a torquey little motor. And perfect for jumping on and off, and so riding that one and then jumping on the Continental, jumping on the Interceptor, and then jumping on the Himalayan, jumping on the Classic Trials, and then on the Bullet 350 when that comes through. So yeah, I just thought I'd show it you. It's yellow. I've got to say, we were kind of looking at it today thinking, how on earth did they build a bike like this for £3,600? Because, obviously you got the VAT on top of that, or VAT to take off of that. And then you've got the dealer margin, which is probably about 10%, so, just under 400 quid. Then you've got the importer margin, which is probably more like 15-20%. I'm only guessing at that, so it's probably another 800 quid. Then you've got the shipping costs and everything else associated with it. So you think they've somehow built, the building bikes like this were probably about £1,000. That's kind of my rough calculation on the build cost of this bike, including the components plus the manufacturing process. You think, how on earth do they buy tyres, buy brake discs, design plastics, have plastics injected, moulded, have tanks made, have tanks sprayed, have instrument clusters made, have gear levers built, have ignition barrels and indicators and engines and exhausts and catalytic converters and rear shocks and seats and everything. How on earth do they put that together? Do they amass all those intricate little parts for what probably is around £1,000? And I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. So, motorcycling, in a sense, is getting cheaper. And I've got no allegiance to Royal Enfield other than I really like what they're trying to do. They're trying to make decent bikes at a decent price, which is revolutionary in what has become an overpriced indulgence for most manufacturers. When you look at the new Triumph 1200 and they push it on for 20 grand, it's like it's just gone balmy. It's not. It's great, if you're at that end of the market, but for the average person, it's just ridiculous. So the fact that this is £3,600, and I think I've said it in another video, how many years ago? 24 years ago, a TZR 125R would have been about the same price. A little Yamaha 2-stroke. So you think 20 odd years of inflation down the line, and you could still get a good bike for exactly the same price. So yeah, fair play to it. Fair play to Royal Enfield. They are going to lend us a Classic 350 next year, but that doesn't mean to say they bought my allegiance. Because I've criticised the Himalayan for its, certainly Euro 5 for its few flaws, and got to be honest, that one of ours seems to be having relay issues again. It was stalling again the other day. So yeah, I'm certainly not without criticism of some of the things. But looking at that and just taking it around the yard, it's a really refined, smooth, nicely tractable. Everything's got a nice tactile feel to it. Even just I like these little rubber clamps, and it's simple things like that, which doesn't mean a lot, but it represents somebody's actually thought and invested and tidied it up and made a nice, neat product. Nice instruments, nice and clean, nice and modern. You've got the tripper computer there, then you got this BMW-esque starter button. Sounds all right. Yeah, it just feels like a quality product. So I don't know where all the other manufacturers are in building something good and cheap. I'm not sure, but maybe they'll cotton on to that as a business concept further down the line, because it's worked so far. Continentals and the Interceptors have been a huge success for Royal Enfield. Best-selling bike in parts of the last year or so for them. In the UK at least, I don't know about globally, but they've been a huge seller just because they're a good bike, good price. You look how handsome that is. That's the Dr. Mayhem colours for, what are they, 5.6, 5.7 brand new. Hell of a lot of bike for that sort of money. Ride well, handle well, corner well, brake well, steer well, suspend well. So that's it. So Royal Enfield Meteor 350, a bit of a departure from what I'm usually associated with, but I like all bikes, really. I like all bikes equally. So what people are going to be able to do is come down to North Devon, join in groups where we go out for a day's ride or whatever, and you get to ride all the Enfields back to back. One of the rides will be down to Padstow in Cornwall, a nice ride down the coast and back. Another ride will be over Exmoor, to take into the coastal roads and then the moorland roads. And then another one, because this area of North Devon is quite well associated with World War II and war preparation for D-Day and things like that, there will be sort of a military tour. So we're going to do some of the military sites and see some of the places where D-Day invasions were practiced and other such things. There's a historian down at the Military Museum south of Barnstaple who's going to help me with that and put together a nice sort of itinerary of things to see and stop and look at, and also visit the military museum for a walk around. They've got a cafe there. So yeah, it's just, running a business like this is a bit like having a motorcycle adventure. It's a start at the beginning and work your way through and keep on going and trial and error and figure it out. So that's what's going to happen. So there'll be more information coming up, but if you want to have a look at www.dorothyspeedshop.com, that's dorothyspeedshop.com. That's where I've got the stuff about the Interceptors, Enfields even, and also the A2 stuff and the posters as well. So yeah, you should be able to find out everything you need on there. Basically, hopefully become the premier motorcycling experience centre for anybody who's into cheaper bikes, which I like. So that's it. Would you have got a yellow one? Is yellow the colour for you, I guess, is a question. Let me know. Cheers.